There are three different types of people who react to failure. Those who complain about it, the ones who tend to ignore it, and the ones who tend to learn from it to get even better. If you're in the third camp, this is the video for you. Hi, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name is Bennett. I'm a high-performance coach. I'm here to share ideas with you to help you live a richer life. We all know that failure is inevitable, so we're going to break this video down into two different aspects: the certain expectations that people have, and then practical tips that we can really get from it. So feel free to skip around if you're just looking for some practical tips towards the end, or if you really want to set our expectations right, make sure to stick around. The first expectation that happens when it comes to failure is that people think that they should just ignore it. But they have to understand, because if they start ignoring one area of their life and they're not looking to get better, it's only going to translate to other areas of our life. It's the famous story of Kobe Bryant when he was in high school and he was in the middle of a game and he started to think about the party afterwards. And when they ended up losing the game, he thought about it and he realized that in math class, he was also spacing out thinking about the basketball game. And he took it from that point on that wherever he is, he's going to be. And he's going to be constantly working on himself because he knows that if he's focused in math class, he's going to be focused in the basketball game. So the same thing applies over here. If you're going to just ignore it and not let something happen, we have to understand that's only going to happen in other areas of our life as well. This second expectation that so many people have is that emotions are really just neutral. See, we come into emotions and we try to give it a positive or a negative feeling. But if we could start to understand that we have more control over our emotions than we think, and emotions are really not a bad thing, it's just an indicator that something's going on. That could be the thing that could really start to switch it for us. So if you're feeling upset or frustrated because something didn't go your way, don't try to just ignore your emotions because they're only going to come out in different areas of our life. Understand that we have to look at this experience as feedback and try to see what it is we can start to do in order to learn from this moment to get better for the next time. A third and really common expectation that people have is that when they hit some type of bump in the road, they end up beating themselves up. And they think they have permission to beat themselves up. But we have to understand, if we start reprimanding ourselves so much when things go wrong, all that's going to do is just hurt our self-esteem and our self-worth. Yes, there's a time to use those failures as fuel to help us move forward, and that's why I think so many people rationalize it. But if you're beating yourself up and you're not taking the action, then you're probably using it in the wrong way. Understanding that yes, we should feel our emotion, and yes, we could be frustrated, but if we start tearing ourselves down, that's only going to be more detrimental to our success moving forward. The fourth expectation that people have is that people just don't think what they could do differently. They think that this is what happened and they'll continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. What we have to realize is we have to start to get curious. And I think it's such a beautiful word in this instance. Because if we could start to get curious in terms of what it is we can do to get better for the next time, we'll be able to step it up. We're translating this word failure to something negative to something positive. We think we have a certain expectation of that we could do something, and life is telling us we're not ready for it yet. And if we can start to say to ourselves, hey, what's going on here? Why am I not prepared for this? We could get more curious. We could learn what it is that we need, what skills need to be learned, and then we could start to take the next step to succeed at the next level. And on a similar note, tip number 5 is to see what our expectations really were. You see, so many times people will come into, let's say, a sporting event, or they'll come into a business venture and they have certain expectations. And when they fail or they lose, they don't realize that they had a certain expectation of how things should work. And if we can get curious in terms of what those expectations are and really set them in a proper way, that could be the thing that could really help us move forward. Just shifting these 5 different things in our life can really help us when it comes to those times that we need to be resilient. But now let's talk about what it is we can start to do practically to make sure that we can get to the next level that we're looking to achieve. The first thing we need to do is we need to understand that we need to change our frame. So many people get so cringy. They dread it, and when they hit failure, they just get knocked down. And if we can start to understand that failure is just feedback and we're becoming somebody in the moment, that's going to be the thing that's going to allow us to take it to the next level. I one time had a client of mine who had a startup idea, and he was so nervous to get it started. But when I was able to coach him through his fears, he was able to take that action. And for him, he actually had a lot of success in the beginning. But as things started to slow down, he started to get really scared. He started to think about all the things that he was doing wrong. And what I told him is that you have to understand the person who you are today is not the person who you're going to be in 5 years and 10 years from now. And to go through these experiences to become that person is the thing that you need in order to become successful. We all think when we come into a certain experience that we're going to do 100%. We're going to get that win. But if we could start to understand for ourselves that we are not necessarily ready to inherit some type of business or some type of idea to see it succeed, And we really have to go through that process. And all this is just life telling us that you're still growing. You still need to be doing more in order to take it to the next level. If we can have that one frame, that could start to shift everything. Before I tell you the second idea, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you made it this far into the video. But when it comes to the second idea, we should allow it to touch us. And what I mean by that is that we should allow the reality of us not succeeding touch us in a way that it's not going to destroy us, but allow us to be inspired by it. To understand, hey, you know what? I still have places to go and places to improve on. And if I could start to do something in order to move forward, that's going to be the biggest change. As Jim Rohn likes to say, let it touch you, but don't let it kill you.
Let life touch you. Don't let it kill you, but let it touch you.
It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for your humility. You're going to look back at those times as the reason why you succeeded and why so many other people haven't. And the third and final thing that you should do is to make sure to understand what you would do differently given the same situation. You see, we're here to learn and we're here to constantly grow. But if we don't change our actions based on the same situation, then we're just being delusional. We have to understand that if we want to take things to the next level, if we want to really be able to grow, we have to be able to take this information that we're getting, try to change our behaviors for the next time. Look to play the long game, understand that this is going to be a process, but as long as you stick with the process, you're going to be able to take it to the next level. So many people struggle with this idea of not being able to stand up and to be there when something goes wrong. But understanding that it's not knocking you down, this is the opportunity for you to really take it to the next level, could really have such a shift in terms of your own personal growth and your own success. And as long as you stay with it and as long as you keep tweaking along the way, you're going to be able to see it. Let me know what your biggest challenge is in regard to failure down below, and I'll try to make another video to be able to help you out. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like this type of content, make sure to take a look at this next video, which I really think you might appreciate.